Why did McDonald's get so expensive? Everything is expensive. And by the way, I went to McDonald's yesterday and I got one meal. I didn't get anything crazy. I got a large quarter pounder meal and a McFlurry, and it cost $19 with tax, $17 without. I think in the past that would have cost me probably like $11 to $12. So it's more than doubled since like even, I would say since even like 4 years ago. It's all way too expensive. And then I went to Subway like 3 weeks ago and one sandwich cost $12. A combo costs $17.
The Big Mac costs. I'm talking medium fries, Coke, and the famous burger. The whole meal. If you guess less than $18, this menu begs to differ. $18! And this isn't new. People have already had their eyes on McDonald's and their rising menu prices for the last couple of months. But the thing is, this one expensive burger might set the industry standard. And soon, all fast food burgers may end up costing you double digits. Hello, Internet. Welcome to Food Theory, the show that'll never cost you $18? I'm still not.
I want to know where that was because it's definitely not $18 by me. Where was the $18 Big Mac? In Connecticut? Could it be they were jacking up the price because it was a rest stop? But do they have the prices on McDonald's website? No, there's no price here. And I don't want to hit order now. Hold on, let me hit order now off stream just in case it puts out my address. But yeah, so right now, a Big Mac meal, it's $12.39. So I think this place must have been jacking it up because I can't imagine it would normally be 18 for a Big Mac combo. Yeah, it was an exception. But why did it go up to 18? Because doesn't McDonald's set their prices themselves? Like, I don't think an individual McDonald's can set their own prices. On average, it actually costs $9.29. No, it does not. It costs $9.29 for like the burger alone. Big Mac meal is going to cost about $12. Bragging on earnings calls about the ease at which they could raise prices without consumers batting much of an eye. Inflation accelerated. All right, let's keep looking.
Not over it. I mean, I know the days of the dollar menu are obviously far.
Oh, dude, these were the days. After high school, I would get a McDouble and a McChicken. $2 and like 18 cents. $2.18. It was $1.09 per burger.
Gone, but this just seems absurd. McDonald's is fast food. They've been synonymous with quick, easy, and cheap meals since before I, and a lot of you, were even alive. There are some reports that claim they've even increased their prices by over 100% in the last decade. And everyone from Twitter and TikTok to news outlets like CNN and NBC have been digging into the golden arches. So much so that the president of the company came out to clarify that it's not true and that their prices haven't risen as much as you'd think. Well, today, I'm gonna get to the bottom of this issue by figuring out the true cost of a Big Mac, finding out if this is just another case of classic corporate greed, and how this might just spell the end of cheap fast food forever. The discussion around McDonald's has been going on for a few months.
And I feel like most people are going to stop eating fast food because the whole point of fast food is that it's cheap, right? That's why the McChicken was such a big seller for a lot of people. If you ask most people what they ate at McDonald's growing up, and they're from like inner city or like lower income families, they'll tell you just a burger or like the cheeseburger, not the Big Mac. They'll say those burgers or the McChickens because they were $1 each. You had $10, you could feed a whole family.
Now, and
granted, it wouldn't feed the whole family well, but it would feed the whole family.
Goes way beyond just the ridiculous Big Mac price. People are upset because something that historically has cost so little is starting to seem like a luxury item. But how has McDonald's been able to keep everything so cheap for so long? Well, like we talked about in a previous video, a large part of it is because they really make their money through the rent and fees they charge franchise owners. This allows them to keep their prices low since they don't have to worry about needing to make their money through food. But even there, they got it down to a science. See, McDonald's has perfected the art of buying everything dirt cheap and marking up prices as much as they can wherever they can. Take a look at their drinks. Because
also, I heard the potatoes. I said, why did I say it like that? Potatoes. The potatoes are a very specific kind of potato. Okay, I guess I swear maybe I'm wrong. They use premium potatoes to make their fries. I genuinely don't believe that. Tia russet and shepherding, but mainly russet potatoes. Okay. All right, my point's gone. We're moving on. But I feel like they have certain farms that they pretty much own, I guess. where they give that farm so much business that they can mark everything down, or they've haggled enough that they can get all that product for so little.
Long-standing partnership, they get Coca-Cola products cheaper than any other fast food restaurant by contract. And while it costs them almost nothing per drink, they can sell them at more than 1,000% markup. Same with their coffee and bottled water, which are actually sold at more than 2,000% markup. So for them, not making as much profit on other items isn't that big of a deal. That said, they definitely do make a huge profit off their other items. This is because they buy in the bulkiest of bulk that's ever bulked. Mickey D's is the biggest purchaser of beef, pork, potatoes, apples, go figure, lettuce, and tomatoes in the world. Full stop. The only reason chicken isn't on that list is because KFC is still around to be number one. McDonald's uses dozens of suppliers for each of their ingredients and buys in massive quantities, which keeps prices as low as they can go. So even something like the Big Mac, which has a lot of different ingredients, can earn them a 25% profit on each sandwich. If you went out and tried to make a Big Mac by buying ingredients yourself, there's almost zero way it would cost you less than just going and buying a Big Mac. At least that was true before this 18.
Now I think you can definitely get away with making a cheaper Big Mac at home.
Big Mac.
The problem is, though, in order for it to be cheap, you will also have to buy in bulk, or you'll have to buy on sale. And if you buy in bulk, you'll be eating Big Macs or just burgers in general for the next week. That's what I hate about living alone. When I buy something, like if I want a sandwich and I buy stuff to make sandwiches, I have to eat sandwiches for a week straight. If I get stuff for spaghetti, I have to eat spaghetti for a week straight. It's infuriating.
Mac came along. That burger, by the way, was found in Darien, Connecticut, and the $18 price tag was actually for the whole combo. The burger itself only cost $10.19. And I should clarify, since I'm just a PNG cutout, that I was using the world's largest air quotes there. You know what? Let's run it back for emphasis. The burger alone only cost $10.19. So if McDonald's has perfected the art of making a cheap burger, how the heck did this happen? The first step in finding that out is figuring out just how much it costs McDonald's to produce a Big Mac. Now, the most important thing we need to keep in mind is that the price we pay for the burger is absolutely not what it costs the restaurant to make it. Otherwise, they'd earn no money. In fact, they would lose money, and that's not really good for business. It's hard to say for certain how much each item truly costs the company and the owners of each store without seeing their extremely classified profit and loss sheets, but in my research, I was able to dig up waste sheets uploaded by employees that can...
Waste sheets. I don't know how you figure out anything. Oh, the prices. There's scrambled eggs. What is it? This doesn't... Was it like per serving? 30 cents? And it's the whole thing. A sausage McMuffin cost them 34 cents to produce. Chicken biscuit, 44 cents. Hamburger, 38 cents. Quarter pounder with cheese, 109. Big Mac, 87 cents.
Give us a pretty good idea. Waste sheets are ways McDonald's locations keep track of how much food they throw away for a number of reasons, like if the burger happened to fall on the ground before they got it to a customer. This helps managers and owners keep track of stock and know which employees they need to send to the McDungeon. The first sheet is at least 10 years old, according to the person who posted it, but shows that back then, a Big Mac would cost 77 cents if wasted. The second sheet is more recent, from 2020, and the price has increased as expected, by 10 cents.
It cost them 87 cents to produce a Big Mac? That's fucking crazy. And it's costing us fucking, I think it's $8 to $9 for just the sandwich now. That's fucking crazy.
To a whopping 87. If we assume the first one is from 2014, we can actually calculate how much the price should have gone up with inflation, the general increase in prices of goods. With 9.3% inflation over those 6 years, a 77-cent burger in 2014 would cost about 84 cents in 2020. This lines up pretty well with the price on the waste sheet. With that, we can calculate that today in 2024, that same 87-cent Big Mac would cost roughly $1.06. From 2014 to now, that's a 37% increase for how much it costs them. Meanwhile, the average price of the Big Mac for customers has gone up 32% in that same time, from an average of $3.99 in 2014 to $5.29 now, which means that as far as the price...
It is not $5.29 now. Hold on. Am I fucking tripping? I'm pretty sure the Big Mac is over $5. I'm pretty sure it's like $8 for just the burger. Yeah, okay. The Big Mac right now is $7.50. It's definitely not $5, dude. $5 was like fucking 8 years ago, man.
Price goes, the Big Mac hasn't kept up with inflation. On average, McDonald's has done a pretty good job of keeping it cheap. Okay, so we have a rough estimate of how much it costs McDonald's to produce a Big Mac, but the jump from $1 to 10 is pretty steep. Where do the other $9 come from? Well, there's a lot of factors that go into pricing, like the rent of the actual building the restaurant is in, the employee salaries, maintenance costs, and a whole slew of other things that pile on and have to be taken into
I'm
consideration.
going to say this. All of these things should be considered, but the problem is the prices of these burgers keep going up and our paychecks have still stayed the same. I'm just going to throw this out there. I have a master's degree and I have worked as a teacher at my district for 10 years. My base pay, without me doing any of my other extra duty, you know, because I do study hall, I coach cross country and track, I have a club, I do a bunch of other things. Without all that, my base pay is $63,000 a year, which is fucking chump change, dude. $63,000 for if I worked in a regular company, I think after 10 years with a master's degree, I should be making probably around 150K, no? Maybe that's too high. 120? 110? That's fucked up, man.
Consideration for each item they sell. They do all of that and still make about a 25% profit on each sandwich. It's hard to know exact specifics behind this $10 Big Mac because there's no way of knowing how the store's financials truly break down. That said, we can compare it to the price of stores where in theory they should be the highest, and that's none other than San Jose, California. The highest rent in the country and the highest minimum wage for fast food workers thanks to a recent...
What's rent like in San Jose? Look at a no minimum, no maximum, but let's do an apartment. 1 bed, 1 bath. Son of a bitch. Well, these look like, hold on, these look like they're luxury. 1 to 2 bed starts at $2,300. That's fucking crazy. $2,300 out here would get you an insane apartment. I mean, the luxury apartments near me are $1,800. Not that $1,800 is cheap. $2,300 is like penthouse in Chicago type of money. This one looks more like a regular area with, you know, kids and... Yeah, this is nothing special. But it's $2,500 a month. Low. For a 3-bedroom, it's going to be $4,000. Suck my dick. That's fucking crazy. $2,500 for a 1 bed, 1 bath. What the fuck, man? And it's, dude, this is the same style of room and carpeting I've got. These are not nice apartments. I mean, they're nicer than other places, I'm sure. There's nothing wrong with a place like this, but these are very cheaply made apartments. You can tell just by the way everything looks. This closet, this right here, with the little wooden stick that holds everything. And the sliding door that's probably from like 2001. Yeah, this is nothing special. And it's $2,500 for a 1 bedroom. Does it even have central air? Hold on. Air conditioning. It doesn't say central air conditioning though. Which makes me think they have a unit. Maybe not. Oh no, it's central air. Yeah, this is central air. But even then, that's still so much money. And that's more than some people's mortgages too.
Bill that passed. Not just that, but it's also the wealthiest city in the country. Those three are the major determinants of final price, so the burgers there should be among the most expensive, right? Well, no. I found the price of Big Macs in all of the 17 open locations in the San Jose city limits, and the average totals up to $5.73. Even though rent is higher, employees are paid more, and people can, on average, afford to pay more there, the burgers in San Jose are just over half of the price of the burger in Darien. So what gives? Well, the answer lies in how McDonald's makes the majority of their money, the individual stores. See, McDonald's is a franchise, meaning the company allows people to use their brand, products, and services. In exchange, the franchisee pays McDonald's a pretty hefty initial fee, something we covered back in our Secret 7-Eleven video, as well as rent for the building the restaurant's in, and a percentage of the sales they make. Essentially, it's like buying your very own copy of the big company. What you might not know is that one of the rights that franchisees have in the US US is that they can set their own prices. Sure, McDonald's
Oh,
gives them
they can?
recommendations, but the price you end up seeing and paying is completely up to the franchisee. And yeah, they have to factor in things
I
like
thought it was completely made up by McDonald's itself. Like they were told that they have to sell something at a certain price. That's insane.
we've mentioned, like
So then that probably holds up my thought initially, where because it's a rest stop, it's probably a really popular rest stop. The one in Connecticut that was selling their burger for $18. It's probably a really popular rest stop. And there's no other restaurants around. And that's why it's $18. I can't imagine anyone would want to pay $18 unless it was the only restaurant they could have for miles. Or fast food restaurant, I mean.
labor costs, property prices, gas prices, and other costs that they have to make up, but they can also factor in things that aren't costs, like ease of access for the customer. The Darien McDonald's is in a rest stop right off the exit on the interstate, and it's the only one easily accessible for miles unless
That's what I just said. So because it's so out of the way, if you end up there, you're gonna eat at that McDonald's no matter what. That's why it's so expensive. That's why everything at the airport's so expensive. They know you can't leave. Once you go through security and all that stuff, you're stuck in that airport unless you want to just leave and you can't come back out. You can't come back in. So they jack up the prices of in a McDonald's and not even a McDonald's, I don't even know, but like a water at the airport is like $6. They do that shit on purpose. And I you know what? I also know they probably, if you ever had water from a water fountain in the airport, it's like lukewarm. I know they do that shit on purpose. They want you to buy their water, so they make it lukewarm and just unappetizing. You can taste every fucking mineral. It's bullshit.
potential customers take a timely detour off the road. The owner obviously knows this and can basically set whatever price they want because people have no choice but to pay it if they want to stop for food. They also know that Darien is among the top 10 wealthiest cities in the country, so they know that again, on average, people in the area can afford to shell out the money. It's a shady practice to say the least, but it maximizes their profit, which like I mentioned, McDonald's is all about. That said, the president of McDonald's did come out to condemn the price of the meal in an open letter to customers, because even though they're all about profit, they do seem to want to stay as affordable and accessible as possible. They're not condemning that hard though, because after all, McDonald's does typically end up with 82% of the revenue a franchise gets, meaning they're definitely reaping the benefits of the $10 burger. 82% sounds like it sucks for the franchise owners, but when you consider how many burgers a location sells, it can be pretty profitable for everyone. So I wouldn't go playing the tiny violin yet. Especially because this price tag has some serious repercussions for me, you, and all customers. Because price increases like this can have a ripple effect. McDonald's and other fast food places typically set their prices based on what others are doing. This is called
it's got to be competitive. So like if the local McDonald's is selling a burger for $7, the Burger King, KFC, all those places, like let's say it's a chicken burger, everyone's going to set their prices to be very close to every other one. That way there's no chance, you don't lose money, but also you're not, like if I go to KFC and I see a burger for $5, like a chicken burger for $5, but I go to McDonald's and it's $8, I'm more likely to maybe go to that KFC because it's like, oh, I'm getting the same thing, but it's $3 less. So it's that ripple effect he's talking about. You definitely see it. I mean, even Burger King's quality is pretty bad. I think the only thing I really like from there is the Whopper. But if you buy a meal from there, you're going to be paying around $15 for a meal, which is insane. And I feel like that's only because the McDonald's in the area is about the same price.
Competition-driven pricing. On the one hand, raising your prices might cause other places to lower theirs in order to seem more attractive to potential customers. This can negatively affect your own sales and cause financial issues. That's why in places like San Jose, you see relatively similar prices because owners need to keep customers coming to their store as opposed to their competition. That said, unfortunately, what also ends up happening is that restaurants will actually increase their prices to match their competitors. Again, this is from a profit maximization standpoint. If owners see one place is still thriving with higher prices, they'll increase theirs to get more money, especially when there's a need for what they're selling. Basically, they can drive up prices to match competition because customers won't stop wanting McDonald's. And even though they may be bringing back $5 meals, the rest of the menu won't be going down. This isn't exclusive to just McDonald's franchises either. Other fast food restaurants like Burger King or Wendy's are also competitors in this field, and the same effect can happen with them where they start driving up prices, especially as inflation keeps rising and shooting up costs for franchise owners, since they'll want to keep their profits the same in order to keep going. What this means for you is that this one $10 burger in Darien, Connecticut
is gonna make every other fucking place make their burger $10.
be the first domino to fall in a line that'll lead to double-digit Big Macs being the new normal. But hey, that's just a theory. A food theory. Bon appetit.
That was a great video. But I gotta tell you that what's gonna happen, I think, at least for some people, hopefully myself included, we're gonna get tired of this pricing, especially since our paychecks aren't going up, and we're gonna stop going. And if I stop going to fast food restaurants, I think that's only gonna help me.